Yo, what is going on today, fam? So we are back again. This is Braxton from BZ_Builds, and today we are working on the Lexus Gx470. So I'm doing like a little build series up on this. So if you haven't already, so just make sure to check some of the other videos. So we're still on the maintenance portion of the day, and today we're going to be replacing one of the front CV axle shafts right here. So I got this bad boy right here. All right, and if you need to order some of these for your own Gx470, Gx460, 4runner, Tacoma, Sequoia, whatever it is, I'm gonna have this link in right in the description for you if you need to order yourself. So off the bat, right, there's the only real special tool I would say that you would need that you probably won't have is a 35 millimeter socket right here. You're gonna need this to take off the CV big nut right there that actually holds your axle in place right there. All right, so that's the only real special tool that you're gonna need. Keep in mind that this job can be a little bit messy just because you're gonna actually be pulling the axle, you know, like pretty much out of your a transmission, well, excuse me, so your differential or whatever. So some fluid loss can happen, so just make sure you have some rags handy to stuff that thing up there. All right, first thing we are going to be doing is going to remove this axle nut. So first things first, you got to remove this cotter pin. I know a lot of people like to manhandle these things to get them out, but I found a lot of times if you just go to straighten these bad boys out, they come out fairly easy. I always just grab a set of pliers, like a small set of needle nose or whatever. Let's see, because I don't have any more, so I actually need to reuse these. But yeah, all I'm gonna do is just straighten this bad boy out, and hopefully I'll just be able to push it through. So I'm gonna need both hands for that one though. All right, so this one's been a little bit stubborn, so what I'm gonna do, put my needle nose right there in the end of it, take this hammer, just tap my needle nose pliers, and it's gonna straighten it out for me. And then I got it out just like that. Fairly simple, right? So next things next, we need to break this nut right here. Let's Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is we got a new nut. I'm not super concerned about like keeping this one pristine. I'm gonna thread it a little bit, right? Make sure my wheel's straight. Then I'm gonna take a little sledge right here. Do that right there, just to loosen up that axle. You can add a little bit of PB Blaster on it if you want, just to kind of help that thing come out a little bit smoother. So, a little bit of PB Blaster, whatever. Alright, so that's as much as it's going to collapse for right now. So, next step we need to do is we need to come and remove. So pretty much we need to disconnect our lower A-arm from the knuckle. So instead of going through the Tyler's job of trying to get this lower ball joint to remove, Toyota was nice enough to include two bolts right here. There's one on this side and there's one on this side. So all you have to do is just remove those bolts, and then that will disconnect your lower control arm from your actual knuckle. So then we'll be able to pull this whole assembly out to get the range of motion we need to get this axle removed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those out right quick, and then we'll continue on with the process. All right, cool. So got my two 19 millimeter bolts, bolts out of that thing. So now we have a bit more movement. Not 100% sure if I'm gonna have to pull the tie rod yet. I'm trying to do it without pulling the tie rod, but we'll see. Let's see. All right, so now that we got a little bit more movement, we're gonna beat that. I beat that axle in a little bit bit more. To get the axle all the way out, I'll use something, push it, bam. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, damn. Watch out. I live kind of in the country. Watch out for the moss. Alright, so we got our axle loose. As you can see, this axle was dead. The boots have been ripped for a while. I had been putting it off. I was being mad new like fool, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, so now that we got that out, next thing we need to do is separate it from the differential. Alright, so this part's gonna be probably a bit more difficult to capture. So I'm gonna come here, kind of like a little pry bar, and I'm gonna try to get in there to pry it. Try to is the key word. Yeah. So probably gonna take a little bit of persuasion to get that bad boy out, because that, you know, that inner side of that axle probably is not gonna want to unseat, but I'm gonna do my best to get it done. But I don't think I'm gonna get this up on camera. But pretty much you got a wedge, so let me at least show you where it is. So you got a wedge in there, screwdriver, something like that, to pry out the old axle. You can also try pulling it back and forth a little bit, but a lot of times it'll just come apart. So, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So I'm gonna get working up on this, and once I get this out, then I'll show you how to get your new axle back in, get everything back bolted up. All right, so that's the other half of the CV axle, the side that goes into the diff. I got it out. I mean, all it took was a little bit of prying or whatever, but got it done. As you can see, got a little bit of mess happening, so I need to hurry up and get the other axle in. Keep in mind, like, it's kind of hard to show this job, just because of the awkward angle. You know, just the nature of the job. But I'm gonna do my best to kind of get an angle for y'all. So I'm gonna get the new one in before I lose all my diff fluid. Okay. And I'm gonna put some diff fluid on the splines. Some of the old diff fluid, I'm gonna put some up on the splines, just to help it to go in a little bit easier. But yeah, let's make this happen. So of course, while attempting to get the new CV in, I bust my freaking the axle seal up on accident. I pulled out the axle seal already. It's down here, but got a new one already. Ran to the parts store. So don't be like me. Just a fair warning. But this is the part number right here for that axle seal, 710596. I would recommend just ordering one of these, you know, or two of them if you're doing two CV axles, you know, just in case. You never know, man. Another thing I forgot to include, right? So when you are trying to get the axle in, right, you want to make sure you have the open side of this little like snap ring towards the bottom. Apparently it makes it easier to get it seated in when you do that. I forgot to mention. So I'm gonna get this stuff all installed. Don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes. But yeah, so I'm gonna get all this stuff back put together, and then once we are done, I'll close out this video. Bam, I just had a hell of a time trying to get this axle seated. Like literally, it's been hours, right? Been hours, finally got it seated. Jesus Christ. So what I ended up having to do, I had to take off the clip that came on the end of the new CV. I put that on the old TV, but it stretched it. So now I got two stretched clips, so I can't use either one. But then I pulled out the heat gun right there. So then I went to heat it up, and I was holding it together, the clip that is, with the pliers, and I kept heating it up. And then I went to put the CV in. I got it to where it was in the grooves, because you'll feel it going to the grooves, you know, like making positive contact. And then I came and put the old nut on the end, and I took my small little mallet right there and beat the living shit out of it, and it finally seated. Oh my God. Whew. Whew. And it's raining super bad, and my power is going in and out. So it's been a day. You can see I'm sweating my ass off. It's so humid right now in Virginia, but finally got it in. So reassembly is pretty easy. Tip right here would be that once you get the outer side of your CV seated back inside the hub, use your nut to help to bring it in to seat it. Just as you tighten it and just torque it to spec. So just make sure you put everything back in the same way you took it off. I don't think y'all need a video saying just how to put it back. But man, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna have all the parts I use linked in the description. Just make sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, it's necessary on YouTube these days. Take it easy.
Coach.